Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and today we're going to be working on Ultra Thick Embossing Enamel. A lot of you have asked me questions about this, and I refer to it as UTEE. So let's get started and I'll show you different techniques that you can use with this. I keep my enamel, or my Ultra Thick, in a Rubbermaid container and just use a spoon to sprinkle on my embossing powder, and it works just like an embossing powder. So the first technique I'm going to show you is just that. So I just have a wooden stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp with some Versamark ink. Make sure it's nice and inked up, and I'm just going to use this as a kind of watermark look. And this works just like a clear embossing powder. If you've ever used that before, you know what that does. It just raises your image and gives it a glossier, shinier look. Let me get that out of the way. And I'm just going to use my heat gun, and hopefully you can see, it might be hard to see now, but as I heat it up, it'll see it a little better. Okay, so you can use this just like a regular embossing powder. So it just gives you that shine. The more layers you put on it, the thicker it gets. I'm just going to do one layer on here, but let's go on to something else. Grab your favorite punch and a piece of cardstock and punch out your image. I'm just going to use this really pretty kind of craft color pattern paper here, and punch out a little tiny butterfly. And what I'll do is just dip the side that I want to emboss down in my ink pad, or my Versamark pad. Okay, and then I always use my little favorite tweezers, and these are my messy ones. This is the ones I use just for this kind of project. And sprinkle on my embossing powder, but I'm going to leave this close by because I'm going to add a lot of layers to this. So let me zoom in here so you can see what this looks like as we're going. Okay. And right now what I'm going to do is just take my heat tool, or my heat gun, and melt the Ultra Thick. And then what you do is quickly add some more embossing enamel right to your project. And the more layers you put on, the thicker it's going to look. It's almost going to look like glass. So this would be my third layer, and then I'll make this my last layer. Okay, so isn't that neat? It gives it a nice kind of raised look and kind of glassy. So let's see if you can see that there. Pretty, isn't it? Just remember one thing, this is really, really hot. So be careful when you take it off. As it's still a little warm, you can even still bend your image. So if you want this to be a raised butterfly, you can do that. Okay, and it'll dry that way and be pretty. One of my other favorite techniques is to take Prima flowers, or any kind of flower, and dip that into the Versamark and heat it up, and the effect it gives is just unbelievable. So I'm just gonna dip this right into my Versamark pad. Okay, and my Versamark pad is getting a little dried up, so I have two of these. I have one that I keep for kind of messy work, and one I keep for regular stamping and embossing with regular powders. So I'm just going to get this nice and juicy. So, and you can tell it even darkened it a little bit. And then what I do whenever I'm working with a flower, I take my tweezers and kind of stick it in that hole that's there, just for something to hold on to. Okay, and we're going to sprinkle on our embossing powder. And I do put about 2 or 3 coats on this as well. And if you're not quite fast enough, you could always heat it up again, and it'll melt the UTEE. So it kind of gives your flower that glassed look as well. Okay, and then one of the other things I like to do is chipboard. So let me just get out a piece of chipboard here, and these are just some My Road chipboard, and I just want a really small one just to show you what it does. Let's see. I go with this little flower right here. And because it's raw chipboard, you want to ink this up first. You can even cover it with whatever your favorite color, your favorite pattern paper. So, but I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm just dipping it right into the ink pad. Should probably be better if I took my applicator and did it. Okay, and I got to get that little middle section out, so I'll just poke that out with my tweezers. Okay, and then again, this is why I keep a dirty Versamark, because I'm going to go right into the Versamark pad with an inked up image, and some inks will transfer onto the pad. So, but like I said, this is my kind of grungy pad. So get that nice and wet with the Versamark. Stick my tweezers there, and this one, what I do is, because it's just small, I just go right into the Ultra Thick, and we'll heat this one up. Okay, a cool look. Alright, so that's just a few techniques that I like to do using the Ultra Thick Embossing Enamel, or UTEE. Thanks for watching another episode of Creations with Christina. See you next time. Bye!